Welcome to Wine Chats with Bildo and Lindelin. My name is Billy Milovanovic, aka Bildo.
And my name's Lindsay Kirkwood, also known as Lindelin.
And this is an offensively funny podcast about drinking wine and chatting life. Hope you enjoy!
Oh, full name. Am I in trouble? Hi, Billiana.
Well, I was just like, are you ready? And you're like, yeah, I'm ready. And then she's like,
Oh, I was looking at my phone. I was getting my notes up. Today, folks, we will be talking about, well, we're going to be bitching about womanhood and all the fucking shit that we have to deal with being a woman. I mean, it's great and all, but some days it sucks ass.
wow. True story.
Right? But you know
like
what?
I want to be, like supportive about, but God, it's awful.
It is awful.
Let's drink.
You know what's not awful? The Hinsey. We love them. The Red Blend, we have featured them a gazillion times. They're one of our absolute favorite wine sponsors of all time, even though we love all of our wine sponsors. They remove, for every bottle of wine you buy, they remove equivalent of 10 plastic bottles from the ocean. Like, hello.
It's a no-brainer.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So far, they've removed over 24 million bottles of plastic, or the equivalent of, like, that 24 million. Think about that, Billy.
They are trying to remove 1 billion, equivalent of 1 billion plastic bottles from the oceans by 2030. I think they are well on their way. They are quite a way through.
Your math skills are exceptional.
Right? Well, do you know, I only recently just discovered that 100 million is 1 billion.
Oh my God.
Did you just learn that?
Well, I mean,
Are you today years old when you learned that?
Excuse me. Well, I hadn't really thought about it.
Because to me, like if you have 900,000 and then it's a million, then surely it should be 900,000 million.
I don't know, but
and then a billion, but
this
no.
Conversation is very boring to me.
Anyways, I'm just saying like 24 million, they're like well on their way to 100 million, which is also known as a billion.
You are well on your way of boring the fuck out of us.
I was going to say, is anybody still listening?
No, we've lost them all. So I didn't mention it, but we're having their Red Blend.
Yes,
which
you did mention it because I was listening.
Oh, did I say Red Blend?
You did.
I think I just said the Hinsey.
No, you said Red Blend.
Did I? Okay. Anyway,
this is how difficult it is to listen to. You're not even listening to yourself.
I'm not.
Cheers.
We know we're going to like it. It's a good wine. Go check them out. We have a code. 25% off Wine Chats podcast. Hello. No brainer.
Possibly just Wine Chats.
It could be that too.
Wow.
It's not a factual podcast.
We're so angry about how much we love this wine and what a discount code we have. Listen, woman. Why are you so angry about being a woman, Lindsay?
Do you know what? I'm just going to start out with a quote about womanhood. Okay, Billy?
Yes, let's do it.
Strap yourselves in, people.
Strapped on.
Women, let's start again.
Wow, are you ready?
Every fucking episode. I don't think there's an episode in our history of me not mispronouncing a word.
Yeah.
Like legit.
No, there isn't.
I know. Women tirelessly put others' needs before our own and sacrifice much, often leaving ourselves depleted and off-centered. Right? Yes. Anxiety and stress, like it's such a thing. It is so like that is yes. That's what happens.
I know all the women listening right now are saying yes.
I need to stop yelling in the microphone.
There was something on, I think Nova posted just the other day with Kate Ritchie, and she was in tears and whatnot. And it was because they had this, I want to say psychologist lady. I wasn't really paying attention, so bear with me. But a psychologist lady was on, and she was basically saying that what happens to mothers when they go to bed, and this is the reason why we're so stressed out, is because we hit the pillow and suddenly we're like, oh my God, did Jimmy have his homework? Did I get all the uniforms organized? Is dinner going to be okay for tomorrow night? Like, do I have lunches prepared? Like,
did I RSVP to the birthday party? Did I buy Bobby the birthday present? 100%.
I actually just reminded myself that I have a birthday coming up for my daughter on Saturday that she's going to. I have no present for this kid. I need to go and sort that out today.
Yeah.
Womanhood. Do you think my husband is out in Sydney right now thinking about what I have to buy Chloe for her birthday? Hi, Chloe. You shouldn't be listening. You should be at school. Hi, Nicole. Who's the mom?
And we're a little bit like, not for kids' ears. No, it's true. And a part of the womanhood, this is my first rant about it, okay? I hate the whole sexism like the judgment towards like what we should do because we're the wives and the mothers in a relationship.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, the organization whole world of school and kids, even when they're not in school, but school like just amps it up so much.
1,000%.
But even when they're in daycare or whatever, what fucking gets my goat?
She's angry.
I am angry. This has been the case. I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 10 years. Yes, I've been very thankful, very grateful. I am very lucky. I get it. Keep those fucking comments to yourself.
I was going to say, let's put aside the fact that, you know, we have lucky families and we're wonderful, whatever.
Okay. Why do we have to put that to the side?
Because I feel
wonderful?
like, you know how sometimes when people are like, oh, but you have this and that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they judge us for, no, don't.
No.
Just put that aside.
I do not iron my husband's work shirts.
You used to iron your husband's work shirts until I told you not to.
No. Well, yes. And when I used to happily iron his work shirts was before we had children.
Yes.
Then when we had children, it would become few and far between. And then it was like, this is too much. I will take them to the laundromat. They can get dry cleaned. I'm still taking care of him.
Wank, wank.
But I'm not actually doing it because it is just another fucking task,
And
right?
it's so time consuming.
So time consuming. So I quit. I'm like, babe, I did. I was like, dude, I'm tapping out. Like, you're a grown ass man. You can iron your own work clothes.
Yes.
Nobody ironed my work clothes when I worked.
Yes.
I do everything else for this man that I dearly love. And I love taking care of him in the household. But you know what? It's the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Like, fucking do it yourself. But this is where the anger comes in because he's like, "Yep, sure, babe." Like,
okay.
Whatever.
I was going to say, how his reaction was okay.
He knows when I am
Right. Yeah, not to fight. Yeah.
He's like, fine. So he'll make his comments every now and again, like his digs and his jokes. But I'm like, not going to happen. What pisses me off is when his male friends make stupid comments to him about me not ironing his work shirts. And this has happened multiple times.
What?
And why it's so fresh in my mind is last night. So he comes home and my mom's here from Canada.
I'm already angry.
Oh, brace yourself. And so my mom, whenever she comes here, she's like, Lindsay, I can't believe you don't iron Cammie's shirts. Me.
Mom?
So she irons them for him.
Mom?
I know. Fine, whatever.
We're setting a bad example.
So she comes upstairs. Hey, Cammie, here's your freshly ironed clothes for tomorrow. Me. Fine, whatever. So then Cameron's like, oh, Pricey. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said his name, but yeah, fuck you, Pricey. To me, it came up about how you don't iron my shirts. And he's like, well, does she work? And he's like, no.
Well, she has an extremely successful podcast. Pricey. This shit takes work.
So he says, when Cameron says, oh, well, no, like she doesn't have a job, which just hold that thought for a moment.
Yeah.
So Pricey goes, well, then she should be ironing your clothes. Now, I am quite sure he was somewhat joking, but do you know what? He wasn't as well. And I fucking lost it. I'm like, why? Because I'm a stay-at-home housewife. I'm the woman. Why do I have to iron his clothes? Like, why is it in people's brains that I have to iron his clothes? Seriously. Like a serious question. Fucking makes me so angry.
No, serious question. That actually infuriates me because it's true. It's like, Pricey. Poor Pricey. Pricey's copying a...
Fuck you, Price. E. I don't know. What's your real name? I don't know. Who has a name like Pricey?
Who even cares? What? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, Henry's always ironed his own shirts. He's always been a really good ironer.
Very good.
His mum is great at ironing. This is a weird thing to say, but so she taught him, and so he irons my stuff. He's like, "Do you need this ironed?" And I'm like, "Do I need it ironed? Really? I don't."
Yeah, because you hate ironing too.
I hate ironing. I had to iron the shirt today, and that was like a gift, right? I honestly, that infuriates me on so many different levels. Are we not far enough now with like womanhood and where we're at?
Exactly.
For that not to be a thing. What are we in the fucking 50s? Are you now like what? So where does it stop? You iron his shirts, you rub his feet, you make sure he's got a good pair of socks together because, I mean, Billy can't do that herself.
She has socks on,
I don't understand where this constant pressure for us to be performing and then
doing everything perfectly.
Right? And then we take our kids to the park and give them a packet of chips and then suddenly it's like, oh, that mum is so wrong for giving her kids chips. But then a dad gives his kid chips in the park and suddenly like, oh, look at that wonderful dad taking his kids snacks.
Or, oh, look at the dad taking his kid to the park. But do you know what pisses me off is like, and I know it's just like guys chatting, guy talk, whatever.
But that needs to change.
But yes, and when the Prices of the world say stuff to Cameron like this, because this conversation has come up so many times.
I actually cannot believe that.
It does. Like it seriously does. What does Cameron say to them? Does he say, oh, well, no, she doesn't have a full-time career. However, she does this. I'm not comparing myself, please, other women, anybody.
That's not what it's about, again.
I'm not comparing myself about I do more than you or you do more than me. That is not my point right now. But I do a fucking lot. Plus I work. I actually do work 1 day a week. I know it's 1 day a week.
Girl, 2 days a week? What's wine chats? This is a whole day for you to do stuff.
Yes, one I get paid for, one I don't, but that will change. But you know what I mean? Like I do
absolutely
everything else for the household and the family. Not even just the household and the family. Like he does nothing, which is great. He does nothing because he is working his fucking balls off.
That's right.
At
so
work.
we take nothing away from that.
Absolutely not.
But we have to get away from this whole narrative of because he's working, you have to do everything else. Yeah. Everything else.
Yeah. And when I don't do just one teeny tiny task.
Which is what? Making sure he looks like a fucking human when he walks out the door, like a professional being. Like you are a man, take care of yourself. Like I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. But like, is it not enough that you come home to a clean house, which is really hard. I'm telling you now, Henry doesn't come home to a clean house. To a clean house, to a cooked meal, to your 3 children being well taken care of, to all your life admin being done and on top of.
Yes, thank you.
Everything that needs to be planned, everything that needs to be organized, everything is on the woman.
To the point, I keep him so organized that I will message him if it's on a day of like, oh, it's your granddad's birthday.
Oh my God.
On this day.
I do that to Henry.
Yeah, on this day, your grandmother died 2 years ago. Like I sent him, his whole world is organized. Have you applied for voting? Postal voting?
Yep.
Like everything.
Everything.
And I get hounded because I don't iron his shirts.
You don't iron his shirts. Oh,
Fuck
you know what?
Prices of the world.
He should start sucking his own dick if that's the way it's going to go.
Oh, look, I'm not doing that. He can iron your shirts and suck your dick. Speaking of sex, okay?
Yes,
Speaking of sex and the womanhood thing.
Yes.
Okay, so personal information. Cameron hasn't had a vasectomy yet, and now I'm getting too old. No, look, I used to be angry.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you are getting really old.
Yeah, right? Like, and I kind of am still angry, but a part of me, and Cameron doesn't listen, so we're safe here. A part of me is like, sweet, don't. Because...
Okay. Oh my God.
I mean, I'm not having another baby.
I was going to say, are you trying to tell me you're going to have another baby?
Ew.
Because this is a safe space. You know when you're with other people, so it's like you can drop information in, like, I'm pregnant.
No, I'm going to be 45 in February. No.
Al Pacino just had a baby. He's like 87 or something.
He's a male.
I know. How awful.
He does not have a womb.
How awful.
No, what I hate. So obviously, okay, because Cameron has not had a vasectomy, we still use, gross, I know, condoms, because I refuse to put...
So teenage.
But I refuse to take the pill or put anything in my body
100%.
To control my hormones. I'm not going to do it.
Aren't we crazy enough?
Right? And I'm no doctor, but I feel like my hormones are so fucking out of whack to begin with. Yeah. I do not need anything else dictating 100%. What they do. Or
we have been
through
through enough with our bodies. We do not need to keep pumping ourselves because they don't want to go for a little half-hour cut in the balls.
Yeah. And Cameron's been good. He's fine with condoms.
Yeah.
What my complaint is, as a woman, when you're not using condoms, is the drip after you have sex.
Yeah, that sucks.
When you're like, it's not like in the movies.
Yeah.
And you stand up and it fucking gushes down your leg and it drips throughout the night and it's just this fucking gross.
Okay, so do we need a lesson in you just need to like bunch up a bit of toilet paper and shove that in there before you run to the toilet?
Oh, before we use condoms, you would always, of course.
Yeah.
100%. I would grab the tissues and like obviously you don't do this.
Do the waddle.
Yeah. 100%. I was just going to say you waddle with tissues wadded up in between. You don't do that on your first few dates. Not a sexy look. You're just like, yeah, this is great. Oh, babe, your cum's dripping down my leg. It's great. I could slurp it up.
Lindsay.
Once those days are over.
Oh, my God. You're so inappropriate.
But seriously, how bad is the drip?
Yes, the worst. Henry has had a vasectomy.
Yes, so you have the drip.
I have the drip. I love it. I would rather the drip than the condom any given day of the week.
See,
but it is true that it drips out during the night. So you literally have to have, I have to have something in my undies. Otherwise I just get all gross. And I can't stand the smell of cum.
as I'm about to take a drink.
I cannot.
Who can?
Lots of women can when they get it all up in their face and it's like squishing around in their mouth. Gross. I cannot do that. Anyway, are we ready for a break? I feel like
No, I feel like you have something interesting to say.
No, I just say like I don't like the drip doesn't bother me as much as using condoms. I cannot imagine using condoms.
But why? What
every single night for sex, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Every single night.
You are not a hoe, but let's just pretend
that
you
was
are.
for you. That was
yeah.
for you.
Oh, right. Yes, I have
I'm not the one. Yeah.
Yeah, every night. Can't get enough. No, what don't you like about condoms?
They just don't feel the same.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
the
of
same.
course not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And to be honest, we never really used a lot of condoms anyway because they just felt funny.
We only have since I've gone off the pill.
We just used to do the pull-out method. Yeah. And that worked for so many years. I know it's dangerous, but honestly, it worked until we decided to have kids. No. And then, so.
That ain't happening with me. I know I'm old.
Oh, God, no.
But
he would not. That's why he got a vasectomy because I'm like, I'm not playing around with this. This is not, I'm not risking.
No, because you did too, but Cameron just looked at me and I felt pregnant. There is no way I would even risk that.
Nope.
All right.
Okay, now can I take you to a break?
You can take
Was
me
that
to a
interesting
break.
enough
I'm
for you?
Okay. Yes. Fine. It was a little bit boring, but whatever. All right. So more about our vaginas. No more sex drip because that shit ain't fun.
Yay, vaginas and womanhood. Woo.
What about like periods? That's obviously goes without saying, but I'm just going to take over this one first up.
Let's do it.
So, yeah, turning 45 in February. So obviously my cycle has changed. I've noticed slowly over the last like couple years, it's kind of like changed, which I understood. I get. This last cycle that just ended, 9 days. In like I bled for 9 days.
I've got a friend right now going through something. Yeah. She's probably, I think she's only about 43, 44.
Okay.
And so like your age.
Yeah.
And she went, like her period was like for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then she started gushing.
Oh my God.
And so she's currently going through the process of like trying to figure out what it is. Because she's not at the age yet where it's like, I mean, perimenopause, sure. But like that it's not really a time when your period is like stopping per se.
Well, yes, it is. For some women, 100% it is.
But then I don't know what's happening to her. But that's the thing. Like there is no clean cut way for women to be like, oh, this is what's going to happen to me.
No.
It's all so chippy choppy.
Well, every body is different.
Yes, but again, no offense, men. This isn't about men.
Yeah. But
like they don't have to deal with any of this stuff.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like this constant like, how am I feeling today? Am I crazy because my hormones are out there like acting up? And my boobs. Let's talk about my boobs for a second.
Yes.
Let's talk about my boobs for a second, whose shape is beautiful and wonderful.
I made fun of them last week.
You sure did. Yeah. They get swollen and they hurt.
Yes.
So literally every step I take, I can feel the bounce and I can feel the pain in my nipples.
And when you take your bra off, you have to like slowly lean your boobs out of it.
Yep. Anytime I have to walk up and down the stairs, I have to hold my boobies because sometimes they, when they shake and it's like this whole constant drop.
Yeah.
So everything is always, I swear in womanhood, there is not one day where your body is just like, I'm chill.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
For me, I think there's like maybe 7-day period.
Yeah.
Because like you've got your period cycle, like your actual period. Well, let's start from the beginning. You've got your pre-period shit, right? Your hormones, bloating, moods,
sometimes
all that
spotting.
stuff.
I get spotting sometimes before I have my period.
You were saying that you could spot for days.
Yes.
So you've got all the weekly gearing up for the period. Yeah. Then you obviously have your period shit. And then for me, and I know you as well to some degree.
There's a little bit of a sweet spot.
Well, no, for me, then I go through my ovulation.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
My ovulation period is even more fucked up than my cycle or my period.
Yeah, you were saying,
And I've noticed that more and more over the cycles recently. And I think that's more perimenopausal. Yeah. I don't know anything about it. But because you would think when you stop ovulating, like that's the time that you would notice it, right? Like that you're perimenopausal.
I don't know. It breaks my brain. It breaks my brain and my heart.
It like the headaches.
Yeah. Yes.
The inside pressure of like where it feels like my vagina is going to break and the pressure is just going to fall out of me.
Yes.
Like all of these things that unless if you have a vagina going through it, you would not know.
No. And like, again, we still have to then do every single thing that still needs to be done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I can't just be like, oh, my vagina feels heavy today, so I'm going to take a day off.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit down.
I'm just going to sit down and just Instagram for a bit because I cannot live my life. It is constant and we just have to learn to deal with it. Our thing is to just keep our chins up and keep fighting for our fucking rights and keep fighting for all the things. You know what I mean? Like we still have to keep functioning whilst we're bleeding from one space and like sore in another.
Or when you're talking to someone and the butthole pain just comes at you and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you need to sit, like for me, I need to sit down.
Yes.
I need to put my legs up, take the pressure away.
Yeah.
And like you can't. Like if you're out in public or grocery shopping or freaking whatever you're doing at school pickup and you're like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Like,
and bless my mum who I remember when she would just, we would just be sitting around doing nothing or like being at the shops or something and she would just break out into a sweat when she was going through menopause. She would just be sitting there and just awash with sweat, like straight up. And in a second, it just happened so quick. And she'd be red and she'd be, you know.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Womanhood. Woo.
Like it just never ends.
It never ends. And now, in particular, I feel in our age, probably more you than mine, like it starts to ramp up again.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's
totally.
going to be like perimenopause. Lasts for like 10 years or something. It could last for 8 years.
The second, it just sucks because like, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I would not want dick and balls in between my legs. But like the second a girl gets her period at say age 10 nowadays.
Yes. Why is that happening? Is it all the stuff in our food? I don't know. Why is that happening?
That's deep. I don't know.
Lindsay.
But like it is happening. And then
it's happening
until the day we die.
Yeah.
We have issues. Like there's always an issue with our lady bits. Always.
And then you go through menopause and suddenly you're like, oh my God, I'm not a woman anymore because my bits don't work. You know, then you have all these internal thoughts and internal feelings about it all. Like this whole time we like hate it and we're, you know, we you know, it's like a drag on our lives, but then it stops and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
What am I now?
It would be a bit sad.
Am I just a shell with a vagina? I don't get it. Like, you know, like what? It's weird.
A dried up vagina?
A dried up vagina.
Is it still like a vagina if it doesn't do anything?
It becomes like a raisin.
Yeah. Ew.
Of a raisin.
Wow. It's a weird turn.
So much to look forward to.
Yeah. No, but it is. For me, it's a thing right now, my cycle, because you're trying to figure it out. Things are changing.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a worry.
And how do you stay on top of it if you don't know what's happening to you? Because all the symptoms are like, oh, this could be this. Like you literally pregnancy symptoms and perimenopause symptoms are like pretty much the same. Do you know what I mean? It's like the same thing. Yeah. It's like, oh, you'll feel heaviness or you'll feel this or you'll feel that. You'll be swollen. I don't know, Lindsay, probably. Oh. We're not scientists. This isn't a factual podcast. Google it yourself.
I thought you Google. Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
I'm probably right. Now,
okay, yes.
Whilst we're nice and angry,
yes.
Can we talk? I came across this in my research, extensive research for this episode that I did.
Go on.
Probably just Googled, stuff about women.
And whatever popped up first. Yep. Go.
But what popped up really made me angry because it was all about 10 ridiculously sexist laws you won't believe still exist.
Oh, hit us. Yep.
Okay, this is globalcitizen.org if you want to read this in detail because I did not. Number 1, a woman must permit her husband to have legitimate intercourse with her when she is fit to do so.
Where is this from?
India.
Oh, right. Of
course.
And
Singapore.
Okay.
So non-consensual sex within a marriage is not a criminal offense.
Oh.
So you can, if you're married, you can just go rape your wife.
Right.
Whether she wants it or not.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You're in.
I could make a really racist remark, but I won't. Continue.
Does not constitute as rape as long as the wife is above a certain age. 15 years old in India and only 13 in Singapore. So if you're a 14-year-old married child in Singapore, your husband.
And these are current laws?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I believe so.
This is crazy.
I hope they've changed.
Yeah. No, they wouldn't have. Continue.
Actually, there's a progress update. Oh, India took a massive step forward. Remember when I said I didn't read the articles properly? They stepped forward in 2017. India took a massive step forward to the girls' rights when it ruled that if a man has sex with his wife, then she is aged and is considered what? Okay.
Billy's research is always riveting.
I know, it's always riveting. Anyway, they changed a little bit of the laws, okay? Basically, the wife now has to be 18 at least.
Okay. Yeah,
that's true. Still.
But even so, it doesn't matter how old you are, and it doesn't matter if you are married. If you don't want to have sex and if you say no means no.
Well, also, how can you be married to 14 and 13? Like that's outrageous.
In those countries,
I know, but again, these are children.
Well, yeah, they are. But
and again, womanhood, right? Like nobody forces a man to eat a dick.
Ew.
A 15-year-old girl can marry any man older than 18. So this is in Tanzania.
Okay.
In terms of nationality, women in countries like Jordan, Lebanon, and Monaco are effectively second-class citizens. And I mean, we already know that, right? So all the women who have to cover themselves up, you know, they can't own land, they can't, you know, do anything without the husband. A child needs a Jordanian or Lebanese father to automatically gain citizenship. So it doesn't even matter what the wife is and who she is.
It's so barbaric, isn't it?
It is so barbaric.
So does not seem like it's an actual thing anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
Again, we're free women in a free country. So to us, it just doesn't make sense that there's so many women facing all these adversities across the world. In Malta, if you kidnap someone and marry them, you don't need to go to jail.
So you can kidnap.
Oh, well, this says now until 2016. So up until 2016,
Okay.
this is a few years ago.
But what if the chick says, I don't, instead of I do? Are they technically
Well,
married?
again, it looks to me like she doesn't have a choice.
Exactly,
so until 2016 in Malta, a kidnapper could technically avoid punishment if they convince the victim to marry them.
Convince of it. Okay.
So like, please.
Yeah, I don't want to go to jail.
Didn't we have fun last night?
We should not be making fun
That's
of this.
actually,
This is so wrong.
Lindsay, how dare you?
I know.
So sorry to all the women who...
It's not a funny joke.
A husband can beat his wife as long as he does not cause grievous bodily harm.
How do you...
This one is in Nigeria.
But how do you beat someone without making...
In Nigeria, it is within a husband's legal rights
Oh my God.
to beat his wife for the purpose of correcting her as long as it does not cause grievous bodily harm.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
Okay, can we move on? I don't like this. We just ranting and raging about like womanhood, and then this is actually making me mad.
In Cameroon, a man can stop his wife from taking a job.
Oh my God.
Like, where is this imbalance coming from? This constant imbalance. We give life. We create you.
Yeah.
Like, how is I don't understand at what point we fell down the hill of second-class citizenship.
Yeah.
Like, where?
Well, I don't think in these countries, we didn't fall down the hill. We just never got to
Climbed
climb up the
yeah.
hill.
In some courts of law, a man is more trustworthy than a woman.
Yeah. Okay.
It's equality before the law. Oh, and
Yeah.
I actually just watched a movie about Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, okay.
And she was like the Supreme Court. I think she might have been, don't quote me on this, please. I apologize sorry, Ruthie. I believe she might have maybe been the first woman in the Supreme Court, or she was like overwhelmingly entered into the court or something back in the day because she was like mega smart.
Right.
I'm not giving this woman any.
I'm not going
But essentially in the States, she was like
Yeah.
when she became a woman, oh my God. In the States, when she became a lawyer and started like practicing law and stuff, she couldn't get a job because she was a woman, first of all. So it took her years. And so she ended up being like, fuck this, I'm going to be a professor. So she goes to be a professor and then, you know, in law school. And then they came across a case where a man was denied some like tax money because he was a man looking after his mum and he was a bachelor. But back in the day, the law was only a woman can receive this tax money because she's a caregiver. A man couldn't be a caregiver. So they took it to the Supreme Court saying like this is sexist basically because it's happening to a man because they couldn't do it for a woman. Nobody cared about women back then. So they ended up overchanging that law about taxes and then using that as a precedent to change all these other laws about women not being able to do things based on their sex.
Right.
So the movie is called like On the Basis of Sex.
Is this based on true
Yeah,
story?
she died a few years back, this woman.
I'm like, Billy, was this
No, she's like the Greta Thunberg of law and like went
right.
ahead and changed like hundreds of laws
good on
about
her.
stuff that women couldn't do. Like a woman couldn't, you know, walk across the street without her husband's permission or something like that. Like they were the dumbest laws that they just went one by one changing these through the United States.
I was just going to say,
Yes.
is this all US based? Yeah. Okay.
I don't even know where I'm going. Anyway, I'm just like angry about the fact that women are suddenly just like how many more suffragette movements do we need? And now what's happened with feminism is like well and truly alive and we're getting naked on OnlyFans and, you know, controlling our own bodies. Like, is that what we worked for, women?
Okay, I need to bring a lightheartedness to this. Or else,
Bring it back up before we wrap it up. Come on.
Because it's a dark place to go, right? It can be and is.
It is.
So I'm going to lighten it up. And it's funny because we never talk about like really which research we have. Sometimes we'll talk about it, but we don't always. So it's funny that you had an article from India because I came across an article from Times of India.
Okay.
And this is the list of pros about being a woman. Okay. I thought,
India.
Uh-huh.
What you got?
It's so fucking entertaining. Number 1, a pro about being a woman, you have better legs. Like, this just shows how fucked up parts of the world is.
God.
You have better legs.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Right?
Oh my God, yay.
Yay for us. Go
So all the cum
womanhood.
can drip down. Right.
Right?
Cum and blood. Like, yay.
Yeah. Number 2, and I shouldn't laugh because this is actually quite sad that a country has the mentality of this.
Yes.
Okay, like this. Number 2, after divorce, we hold up better.
Yes, because we're happier without our husbands. Yes.
Number 3, women can get away with crying. Wow. Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is in the Times of India.
This is
a
an
legitimate
actual article. Yes.
We can get away with crying.
Yep. Number 4. We have much more interesting clothing and accessory options.
Lucky us. We can look pretty while we're beaten up. And
I was just going to say.
Wow.
Like, hello. Number 5. We can multitask. Go us. Which is, you know what, that is a skill. Because
Lindsay, that is not a skill that only women possess. That is ridiculous.
I know, but it's a pro.
Extremely sexist.
And 100%. And the last one, number 6, we have higher pain thresholds. For all the beating that comes our fucking way. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Whoever wrote that needs to
be beaten. And yes.
Like, so many things need to happen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
When I read that, I'm like, oh my God, that is so sad and disturbing that parts of the world actually have that mentality.
Like, I can't even, I mean, this is a really, we're being a bit silly and delivering these in a very silly way. Because
if you don't laugh at some of these things,
you would be crying.
Yes. And we don't mean any disrespect to anybody at all, that for females, not men, go get fucked men, but to the females that have had 100%. To endure
anything, because we are constantly on the receiving end of belittling and beating and all sorts of stuff. So peace be with you if you have been a woman who has been hurt or, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Peace be with you.
That's such a church term. I don't know what just happened to me. It came from Jesus inside me. It fucking sucks. We totally sympathize. And, you
Womanhood.
know, we are women. Hear us fucking complain.
You're not complaining, Billy.
Roar! That's it. Peace be with you. Thank you for joining us for this latest episode of Wine Chats podcast with Bildo and Lindeland. You can find us on our socials on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and you can listen to us on any favorite podcasting app or watch on YouTube.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, review, comment, send us some love. We absolutely love it.
Chat soon. Come on, Lenny. Chat soon.
Chat soon.
Chat soon.
We're not putting this in.
Come on.
Okay, we'll add in chat soon at the end. Both of us?
Yeah, go
on.
Chat
Chat soon.